Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles. It's my tag team partner Brian Clark.
Gary Rhodes everything. Or everybody. Ever.
Exactly why you're Brian Clark. Worst Demolition member ever.
Whatever. He's a crush. Oh, what a rush.
Anyway, this is our WWE Raw episode for the week. We'll go right into the show. Something that I know I was excited for, the first match of the night. Roberto Rodriguez versus Zeb Coulter versus Big E Langston. With the catch being the winner of the match, their, I guess you would say, partner.
Whoever they're with is
gets to pick the match at Extreme Rules. I was thoroughly entertained by it.
Oh, it was a great opening, I think. It's something that the WWE needed.
It had
the Raw. The Raws in the past have really been...
Yeah, especially when they start off with John Cena talking. But this was a well-done comedy segment.
Oh, it was. Roberto Rodriguez doesn't get the credit he deserves for being as funny of a bumper as he is.
Well, if you look at it, at the three guys in this, Rodriguez is a great comedic character. Zeb Coulter is one of the all-time great mat generals in the ring. And Big E Langston's just a monster. I mean, I thought the whole thing worked so well.
The ring psychology was excellent with it. You know, like you said, it made Big E look like the monster. Zeb's just sitting there picking his spots. And then Rodriguez just being Rodriguez. I thought it was an excellent beginning of a show.
I hope at some point Rodriguez gets to go out and be on his own. Or they use more of the El Local character.
Yeah.
But
or who knows, after the whole world title picture is done for Del Rio for a little bit, put them together as a tag team.
There you go. I like it. And Rodriguez wins, which sets up later on. We'll talk about what Alberto decides later in this show, because he decides the match. Now, coming off of that, we had yesterday was World Wish Day, and John Cena came out with some Make-A-Wish kids.
You know, your opinion of John, or our opinion of John Cena, whatever it is, maybe, we're usually kind of rough on. I know I am. He is really good with this situation here with the Make-A-Wish. I think he's excellent with it.
I think he's, at this point, has he passed Hulk Hogan with the most Make-A-Wishes?
Oh yeah, he did over 300. I think he has the most, period.
Well, I know at one point when Hogan was there, Hogan had the most, but they never said how many he did. No. But either way.
Yeah, he's good. He's good for that. I can't hate on him.
It was a nice little segment. I mean, it's good. With it being World Wish Day, I don't mind. Now, if they did this every week, it would kind of get annoying. Not saying the Make-A-Wish kids would get annoying, but...
Wow.
I'm tuning in to watch wrestling. They could do that on the pre-show. But during World Wish Day, he did put it out there to get more donations into the foundation, which, for all intents and purposes, I hear it's a great foundation. And they do great work.
Now on to our second match of the night, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. I was very impressed with this match.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know something that you said to me last night that sticks in my head was Cody lost last week to Brodus, and this match almost made you forget about that, how good this match was. And it don't even matter that Cody lost.
No, and it doesn't. Orton made Cody look good. Cody makes Orton look good. That's how you're supposed to. You're not supposed to, keep squashing all these guys that... At one point, Cody was going to be a contender for the world title.
He could be a contender.
For real, though, he was on his way up there. He was on a big roll, and like this time last year, everything just fell apart.
Well, it's the same problem that most talents have, is the mid-card booking is absolutely horrendous. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. This was a little bit longer than your normal Monday Night Raw match, too, and to me, it played more like a pay-per-view match than a Raw match.
It was a showcase match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminds me of what we were talking about before, is the old Coliseum video matches. The matches they would play on TV. This would be one of those matches, to me, it would really be good, or pay-per-view or anything like that.
Yeah, where they don't really have a feud, like where you would get something like the Bulldog versus Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But I thought it was really great. That was on one of my Coliseum videos. That was why I mentioned it. But, Orton goes over on it with a kind of expected RKO out of the disaster kick that he does.
What I liked was Orton was going for the RKO and Cody put on the crossroads instead. I legitimately thought maybe that Cody would have an upset. Because Orton, the only feud he's got going on is with a Big Show, and they're really not mixing it up as much as they should be.
Yeah. And then after that, we have our first Divas match of the night. Naomi representing the Funkadactyls versus Brie Bella.
Short match. Thought it wasn't bad though.
Wasn't bad. The brevity of it, and of course Brie tries to pull twin magic. The referee gets told that it's not. If you could just change the outcome of the matches by just telling the referee what happened, there's like a whole bunch of title changes that need to go back.
Exactly. I really didn't care for that part of it, but
it would have been better if he was watching the Titantron and seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, it just why should you believe Naomi? You know, not saying because she's a good girl character, but still, as a referee, you should be impartial. There you go, Gary. But it was a decent match. We'll talk a little bit later about twin magic. It comes into effect. Something I want to talk about later on. Mm-hmm. Now, the next we have the Shield coming out, and they basically played the Shield's highlights since they've been there, meshed in with an interview they did. I thought it was a good showcase to remind everybody exactly how impactful this group has been. They're going through, they're talking about who they're going to fight later on tonight, whether it be Ryback or Cena. Ryback leaves the building at some point. Team Hell No. But 3MB comes out.
3-man bam!
And 3MB gets absolutely destroyed. In about 30-40 seconds, Team Hell No heads out to the ring. Shield disperses and goes into the crowd.
And Kane gives a sick choke slam to Heath Slater. But I like what JBL said when Kane was about ready to choke slam him. It's like, damn, nobody likes 3MB.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Except for the kid sitting behind the announce table to look like 3MB.
You look like Slater's kid from tours past.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway, nice little segment they had going there, and then we keep the ball rolling with a Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston match.
Excellent match.
Yeah.
You kind of forget that Ziggler and Kofi were both on kind of like some losing streaks, and this match here, Ziggler had to get over, and he did. And I enjoyed this match thoroughly. These two work great together.
I really liked them, and I'd like to see maybe Kofi drop the U.S. title and get into a world title picture, a world title feud with Ziggler. The rumors that I've been reading is that Kofi's going to drop the U.S. title to Big E, and AJ's going to win the women's title, the Divas title.
So all three of them have a belt.
Yeah, basically. But I thought this was a tremendous match. Just the right amount of outside interference to keep Ziggler a heel, but not too much where he looks weak.
Exactly.
And then we had, after that, the third part, or actually the second part of the three-way match at Extreme Rules. We had a Jack Swagger versus Zack Ryder. Jack versus Zack.
Zack Ryder ends up going out, starts talking junk about Zeb Luz and Rodriguez, and just to piss off Swagger.
Actually, I thought this was one of the better Ryder matches that I've seen on TV in a while. They actually put him out there. He got to wrestle for a good little bit. I thought it was decent. I thought the match was good as every match up until this point was actually good. And this one,
I enjoyed it.
It was a solid match. It really was.
Because if you remember this time last year, Swagger was on that big losing streak. Ryder was kind of on an upturn. This match would have went the other way.
Yeah.
Because, right this time last year, Ryder was the U.S. champion, and Swagger was losing to everybody.
Speaking of Ryder, if you remember our question of the week last week, is with the hints of a Ryder gimmick change, do you think his character has been so far damaged that it is not going to help him? Before we get into our opinions, let's get into some of the opinions of our friends out there. The first one's from our friend Josh Adams. Well, I feel the same way I did a couple months ago about Ryder. If he snaps like Edge did and goes an R-rated character, it would be good. Then we got one from Mike Kirwan, 1237. I think Ryder could be a good character and good U.S. or Intercontinental champion if they book him right. Back to what we always say about the mid-card booking, it's not that great. And the last one is from our friend Closure Demise. Am I pronouncing it right? All right. Zack Ryder might be a great guy, but his character is beyond done. Recently, we've seen Great Khali with Hornswoggle and Santino team up on Raw, and I was thinking these guys were released 2 years ago. I just think that Ryder falls in that category of you still have a job here. And I'll go ahead and start this one off. I think that there's sometimes, it's like we say, if you watch our Ring of Honor show, we talk about Mike Mondo and how the Spirit Squad has hurt his career going forward. Some people can get out of it. Look like Dolph Ziggler, same thing, started off in the Spirit Squad, but he's been able to break through that. Edge started off on what could be considered a bad character in the Brood, broke through that. X-Pac, the 1-2-3 Kid, that was a cheesy character, he broke through. The character that he had going, Zack Ryder, wasn't bad. The fans loved it. The WWE destroyed it. They booked him so poorly, it was almost like they want him to lose the fans that he made on his own. And I think at this point, barring something drastic changing, I don't think anything you could do with Swagger is going to help him bring him back into prominence at all.
You mean Ryder?
Who did I say?
Swagger.
Ryder, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the match.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You never say never in wrestling. I mean, you look at where Swagger is right now and take a look where he was last year, like I pointed out, he was jobbing everybody. I think what they should do with Ryder is totally drop him, take him off television, a good 6 months, have him lose one night and snap, just like what Swagger did. You know, I'm done with this. Maybe I want to do something else. Goes off TV for about 6 months, comes back with a different kind of character. Same guy, just a little bit more pissed off. Kind of like AJ Styles and TNA.
What about if he, I'd be okay with him reforming the Edgeheads with Kurt Hawkins.
Do something. They don't have to come to, the Edgeheads if the Edge is gone. What were they before?
The Major Brothers.
The Major Brothers, but they could do something else with them.
Could be just Ryder and Hawkins. They don't need to have a team name.
Exactly. Kind of put them together like your anti-heroes, kind of like, he's a good enough talker where he could be a smart ass. I think
the shame of the character is he really worked hard and built something out of nothing, because they gave him absolutely nothing before that YouTube show. He made himself, actually, without his YouTube show, WWE has no YouTube shows because he's the one that made it successful enough for them to start doing it too. And they booked him so poorly that they destroyed what this kid built for himself.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the teamings they've put him with.
Yeah.
Like the whole building him up with Cena and stuff like that back in the day.
Well, Cena was his personal savior.
Exactly.
Made him look weak. Teaming him up with guys like Khali, Hornswoggle. Guys of that nature aren't thought of as, teaming up with a couple weeks ago he teamed up with Tons of Funk.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's damaged beyond repair. I know he has the passion to repair it and be something better.
With the passion he has, do you think he could do what Swagger did? Take time off, come back?
I think he could be better if the WWE gives him a chance. That's the problem with it.
That's the thing.
It's not him, it's the WWE. But anyway.
The outcomes of the matches, the wrestlers don't make. It's the WWE.
Anyway, going off of that and getting to our question of the week for next week, touched on it a little bit in the match with Brie and Naomi. They did twin magic, but since the Bellas have came back, I know everybody's noticed that Nicole has implants now.
Implants?
Yes, Jerry. One of them's bigger
Her
than the other.
puppies are bigger?
Yes, Jerry. One's bigger than the other. Even Jerry Lawler mentioned it on TV, and JBL made fun of him the rest of the match.
Oh, that's JBL.
But the thing is, before it wasn't as easy to tell the difference. Now you can noticeably tell which one's Nikki and which one's Brie. Does that hurt the twin magic in your opinion? The ref, if you could see it, the ref should be able to see it. Let us know what you think. If the boob job hurts twin magic, if the boob you don't care, or if you're willing to suspend disbelief, which is what you do for wrestling mostly anyway. Mm-hmm. Let us know your opinion. Hit us up on our Facebook. Hit us up on our Twitter. Put it down where?
Down there. Sorry, Ty Cobb that shit.
Anyway, back to the show. Now we had another segment that was probably about as entertaining as what Gary just did. We have Mark Henry doing a tug of war against two opponents. First he had Tensai, beat him easily. Then Brodus Clay, beat him easily, which brought out Sheamus and said, why don't you go for a third? He starts winning with Sheamus. Sheamus kind of, in my opinion, they did a heel move attacking him. But they've been going back and forth attacking each other. I would say, in my opinion, this was almost the worst segment of the night. There's another one that happens a little bit from now that's a little bit worse. It wasn't a bad segment, but it
didn't bother me.
It came off as filler, though.
It was filler. I mean, like you said, it's just straight up filler.
I dislike segments like this and segments like arm wrestling matches.
Yeah, I was never a fan of that.
Or weightlifting matches. It's wrestling. It's not arm wrestling. It's not tug of war. You know.
Like I said, it was filler, but it didn't destroy the show to me compared to other things. You know, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was a good piss break. You know, that's my thing of it. Then by the time you come back, Sheamus is out, does the bro kick, and blah blah blah. You know, I mean, it was a piss break.
Now on to the next match of the night. We had Alberto Del Rio versus Antonio Cesaro. Another fantastic match with another one of the guys involved in the World Heavyweight Championship match at Extreme Rules. All three of the guys ended up going over, which builds the World Championship match. In my mind, this is how you should build a World Championship match, not have guys losing in it that are going to be in there. I thought it was fabulous, the interaction between these two. This was a great, tremendous match. I really enjoyed every part of this. And we're both big Cesaro fans. We don't like to see him lose and get pushed further and further down the card. To me, him hanging with Alberto Del Rio, the way he did and the way it ended up ending, I think he looked stronger going out of this match losing than he did coming into it.
Oh, exactly. I totally agree with you. These two would can put on great matches. Like I was telling you when we were watching this match, I said my dream match would probably be Cesaro versus Kurt Angle.
Kurt Hennig, huh?
Well, not now. But anyways, Kurt Angle versus Cesaro I think would be a great match. Would you agree? I mean, they're both brutes. You know what I'm saying? But I know the next segment was your favorite of the whole night.
Much like the Zack Ryder gimmick, the WWE, to me, I think they're sabotaging Fandango.
Got it. Used A's.
Anyway,
Look at
we
what
had
A's breed.
Fandango versus Khali in a dance-off, which was the worst segment of the night. Khali, first they put a mic in front of Khali.
That's just stupid.
And he... I don't want to hate the guy because he may be very intelligent, and English is not his first language, you could tell. But why are they putting a mic on this guy? I'm sure there have been sometimes he said something funny.
Well, one of my friends on Facebook, he's like, this killed the whole show to him, putting the microphone in front of Khali. I know they keep Khali, why do they keep him around? They keep him around for the Indian market.
Yeah.
What I would do personally, if I was in WWE, I would hire a guy like Sanjay Dutt.
They already got another guy on the roster, Jinder Mahal.
You can build Jinder up, but Sanjay, I think if you put him on TV, he's exciting. He's a great talker. I think he'd be perfect to add on to the roster.
Yeah, I did not like it. I very much liked the Fandango character. I didn't like the end even when they went for the crowd reaction, and the crowd was pretty much even.
Mm-hmm.
You had the people that are going to cheer Khali because Khali's a face, and then you had the people that are going to cheer Fandango because he can actually dance.
Yeah.
And he's not a big, giant, 7-foot goof.
Well, the thing is, it's like WWE's trying to kill it by putting him... They should just go ahead and let him turn face. It's inevitable. The fans want to cheer for him.
They're putting him in these ridiculous situations. That thing they did with Lawler. It's just bad. Just let him wrestle. Like you said, just let him wrestle. Let the kid get over as a wrestler. We've seen enough of these other segments with him. Let him be a wrestler.
I know what you were saying last night when he did that leg drop. You're like, man, he's not going to have a long career if he keeps that up.
Well, no, and he's working the flatliner in as a secondary finisher. So hopefully he uses a leg drop very sporadically. It looks great. I'm not saying it's
he
bad.
delivers it awesome.
It's an awesome move, but with a move like that, you're going to impact your spine a lot.
No, I mean, you take a look at a guy like Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's still, his age.
Yeah, but he did the rocker drop. That's a little bit.
Well, he did it off the top rope too. Remember?
But not.
Yeah, not every week.
Not
I get
every
what you're
week.
saying.
But anyway.
Make it a pay-per-view move.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you busted out on WrestleMania, like Undertaker busts out the Last Ride.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk one day is going to bust out the Pepsi Plunge. That'd be awesome.
He needs to.
Or like when Daniel Bryan busts out Cattle Mutilation.
Or Cesaro busts out the UFO.
That's going to happen.
It's got to happen.
Anyway, back to the show a little bit off track there. We had our main event, John Cena and Team Hell No versus The Shield. I thought it was a very solid match.
I liked it.
You had basically Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan trading back and forth who was getting beat down. I thought it was fantastic.
The Ambrose and Daniel Bryan spots were awesome too.
Yeah. These are guys, they've worked together plenty of times, and it totally worked out. I like that no matter what happens, the Shield finds a way to regroup and attack 3-on-1 or 2-on-1 or get the numbers back in their advantage. I like the end where Super Cena goes to give the attitude adjustment and gets speared, and that's the end. Cena gets pinned cleanly.
See, and the thing is with me, that then you have Ryback coming out after the pin. He's just standing there, staring at him. I don't know if they're going to try to turn Ryback full heel. He needed to go out there and destroy Cena right after the match.
You never go full heel.
Cena goes full. Well,
Anyway, but basically, I thought it was a good show, and we'll go right into the ratings for it. If you watched before, we do a rating of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. A 5 is a CM Punk, a 4 is a Daniel Bryan, a 3 is a Sheamus, a 2 is a Big Show, and a 1 is a John Cena. What would you give the show, Gary?
I'm in between a Sheamus and a Bryan. I thought it was that good of a show.
I'm going to go a 4 a Daniel Bryan. The only thing that knocks it down from being a 5, I thought every match on the show was good. I enjoyed almost everything on the show. The tug of war I could have lived without. The Fandango and Kali thing was just depressing because you have a bright upcoming talent and they're putting him in crap like this. But everything else in the show I enjoyed. Even the Make-A-Wish I enjoyed. But I thought overall I would give it a 4. I'd give it to Daniel Bryan.
Because I'm stuck in between. I really can't tell which one I want.
Yeah, give it 3.5.
Yeah. The one thing I liked about it, there was no squash matches, except for the Bellas match, which.
Yeah.
But really, all the matches were great quality matches. These are pay-per-view quality matches that we got on television for free.
There you go.
Even the comedy match was worth watching on pay-per-view. So I enjoyed Raw. I thought it was a damn good Raw. Strong.
Yeah, I agree. But basically, that's all I got to say.
That's it for me.
My name's George Coles.
I'm Gary Rhodes.
And this has been Heel Heat.